For as long as I can remember, I've always been overthinking. My mind would make big deals out of very small things. And when it comes to making decisions, I would delay making decisions because I'd be like thinking about the outcomes and it would cause me to stall and not make any progress. For example, with the gym, I was thinking about it, but I wasn't actually starting the gym for a while, and that's because I was overthinking, and because of that, I started a lot later. So I would have made much more progress in the gym. Um, Another thing was starting this channel. I was overthinking about that as well, and that caused me to start a lot later, which meant that I would have had more videos by now, and I would have been further along in my progress. It's not just about decisions as well, it's about like little things as well, because a lot of times some small things would happen and my mind would make a big deal out of it, and my mind would get like very emotional and would overthink, and I'd be very sensitive as well. So it was also not good for my mental health as well, and that's why it's super important that you focus on improving your mind, because if you do that, then all areas of your life will improve. Your decision making, your mood, your emotions, and all of that. Your mind is like the biggest thing that stops you from doing anything. If you're lazy, it's because your mind just doesn't want to do it. Literally everything that stops you from reaching success in life, in all fields. So that's why you need to focus on your mind. So I'm going to tell you everything that I did to reduce my overthinking so that I could not let those thoughts affect me, and it made me achieve my goals faster, and I wouldn't be affected by small things, and I wouldn't be constantly arguing with my mind all day. The first thing is that the reason you're overthinking a lot is because your mind just has so much like dopamine inside, and this comes from watching a lot of content online and like a lot of short form content that has like a lot of dopamine. When you do this, like your mind gets a lot of like stimulation, and this causes your mind to like think a lot more and just have so much like random thoughts, because every time you scroll you're like getting a new like thought, a new like reaction to something, a new emotion. So when you're scrolling very fast, this like causes your brain to act in the same way, because your brain adapts to whatever it sees. So your brain's also going to be like thinking very fast, and is going to be switching from one thing to another, which explains why you can't really stay focused on one specific thing. So what you should do is you should try to reduce how much you spend like on watching content. So you can't just go from like watching it like 5 hours a day to zero. You have to like gradually decrease, because if you try go from like watching it every day like 5 hours a day to nothing, it will be extremely hard, and you'll probably go back to watching it, and you'll make no progress. Instead, you should make it like easier, because yeah, that will actually work out better in the long run. So if you're watching it every day, then try reducing it slowly, and maybe just cut out short form content entirely. That's what I did, and it's made my mind a lot better, because I'm not like thinking as fast and as often as I was before. Yeah, when you stop consuming content, you start thinking your own thoughts rather than like other people's thoughts. And when you're like not getting stimulation from everywhere, and you start to like get your own unique thoughts and ideas, and that means that there's a part of your brain that's starting to function. Because when you're just watching other people watching like videos and stuff, that part of your brain, that creative part, is like not being used, and when it's not being used, it's going to get weaker and weaker. This is one of the reasons why you shouldn't use ChatGPT too much, because um ChatGPT is like a problem solving tool, right? And if you're using that to solve your problems, then you're not using the actual part of your brain that solves your problems. So that part of the brain will get weaker, and you'll be like less smarter. So this is like scientifically proven. Your brain will get like a lot worse if you don't if you use ChatGPT too much. So yeah, this is the same, like this works in the same way. You should try like not get stimulation, so your brain actually has its own thoughts and ideas. So that's like one of the main points. The next thing that you should do, and this is like directly tied to the first one, is what I do is I go for walks a lot. And when I go for walks, I don't have music in my ears, I don't have my phone with me. I just go for walks, and especially in like parts of like nature and stuff, because um this ties into my first point. You're not like consuming content, right? And you're like in your own head, and you're like finally like relaxing, and um you're able to like see all your thoughts for what it is, because most people just avoid their thoughts by consuming content, but now you're actually like facing your thoughts head on. And um this is like super important. You should just go for walks, and this is super peaceful as well. And when you're in nature, like this scientifically improves your mood, and when your mood's better, your mind is a lot better. So you should go for walks. And this ties into my first point, because when you're going for walks, you're not spending time online and getting content online, so you're a lot more like free. So if you do this a lot, then your mind and your mental state will improve. The third thing, and this is like the most important thing, and um everyone should do this, is it's called meditation. It's when you focus on just like focusing on one specific thing, and when your mind drifts away, which it will happen because our brain is designed to like drift away. For our whole life, we've been training our brain to just like think random thoughts and bounce thoughts from one to another. And when you focus on one specific thing, then your brain will just naturally drift away. And what you should do when this happens is you should just non-judgmentally bring your attention back. So you should bring your attention back to wherever you're focusing on. So most people focus on their breath when they meditate. What I do instead is I focus on, like, when you close your eyes, you can see like the darkness, right? That's what I focus on. I don't like focusing on my breath, because it like affects my breath, because then I start breathing manually and it's kind of annoying. So I just focus on like what I see when I close my eyes. And when you do that, then it's the same thing. When you do that, you'll be like seeing a lot of shapes and colors, right? And then your mind will start like drifting away. You'll start like thinking of a music, or you'll start thinking of a memory in the past or something like that. Or you'll be thinking like about, am I thinking? Your brain will do like a lot of weird things, and when you notice it, then you should just bring it back and not be like angry or whatever, because it's normal. And if you get angry, if you get like annoyed, then it's not good. I forgot the reason why, but it's not like good, because yeah, when you're judgmental about it, then like your emotional state will go down. You'll be more angry. So like the whole point of meditation is to not be affected and just like improve your mood. So don't get angry, and it's actually a good thing when you attention gets like distracted, because now you're improving the ability to bring your attention back. So when your attention gets drifted away, then just bring it back. And if you do this, right, if you're training this ability, then it'll help in all areas of your life. So let's say you're doing your homework, right, and you get an urge to like watch something online. Then if you, by training this and by meditating a lot, then you'll be less likely to act on those impulses, and you'll be more likely to just stay and look in and complete your work. So this is a super important thing you should do. And when you're starting out, just, if you've never done it before, just try 1 minute a day. Do that for like a couple of days, and then bring it to 2 minutes, and then so on. Most people try like meditate like 20 minutes a day, and then they're surprised that it doesn't work. But like 20 minutes is a very high level, especially if you never started before. So you can't just like go from zero to like everything. You have to gradually work your way up. So start with 1 minute a day, right? For 1 minute, just close your eyes and just focus on nothing, right? Focus on looking at the shapes and colors, and that's it. And then when your thoughts like divert to something else, then just bring it back. And every time you bring it back, you're training the ability to remain focused on one specific thing. So that's what you should do. So yeah, meditating is super important, and it's important you stay consistent with it as well. That's why I say like 1 minute a day, because everyone can just take 1 minute out of their day to do this, and it's much better to do something than nothing at all. So if you're doing 1 minute a day from now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's way better than what you're doing before, which is like 0 minutes. And now you're actually like improving your ability. So yeah, this helps a lot. This adds up. Consistency is super important. Alright, now we're going to get on to the part of overthinking I was saying at the start of the video. Like you were delaying, like I was contemplating on starting the gym, and I was weighing out my options, and that's just like an excuse your brain makes, because your brain is like doing this as a form of avoidance. So your brain is just not like, your brain is just trying to stay like in a comfortable place in its comfort zone by just not like making the choice, and just it makes you think that you're being productive when actually you're not. So what you have to do is just you have to be like self-aware and just do the hard work, and like just make the hard choice, like start in the gym, like start on the channel, or wherever you're like to like wherever you're procrastinating. You have to just like go in. You make the decision now and then just do it. So that's what I did with the gym and with my YouTube channel. I was thinking about it, but then I decided to just do it. And then after I did it, I realized I should have just done this a lot sooner. So yeah, this is like something that like it's gonna take a lot of time to like get used to, because like your brain doesn't want to do, like your brain wants to stay in its comfort zone. So when you want to do something that's like goes out of your comfort zone, then your brain's gonna like try its best to resist that. So you need to like have some self-control and just like make the choice and do it. Yeah, another thing you should know is that everyone has this. Everyone has their mind just like making up a bunch of garbage about them, like a bunch of like useless thoughts. Everyone has it. Everyone has that like part of our brain that's like saying thoughts that we don't even sometimes believe in. Like there's like two thoughts to us, right? There's our manual thoughts, right, which is like if you try to think of something, that's a manual thought. But then there's the automatic thoughts, and those automatic thoughts are the ones that try to sabotage us the most. They're the ones that want us to like remain in our like in our comfort zone. They're the ones that want us to like. They're the ones that get like upset over small things. It's the ones that overthinks all the things. That's the one, because we don't manually think those negative thoughts. Like those thoughts come to us, and like yeah, that those thoughts are the ones that are like the root cause of most of our problems in our mind. So by meditating and doing all the habits I mentioned before, those those automatic thoughts won't have as much effect on you. And you should challenge those thoughts as well, and you should be aware that those thoughts are like almost always not true. For instance, I thought like let's say you're scared, like you did bad in an exam, and your automatic thoughts will like say things like, oh, it's over and my life's ruined and stuff like that. But then like if I look to where I am now, like those, like none of that was true. It's all just like in your head, and it's not even true. So when you get those thoughts, right, it may sound very convincing in the moment, but just like picture yourself like a year from now, like those thoughts will not matter, and those like outcomes that your brain is showing you are not true. The reason this happens is because our brain is like by evolution it's wired to keep us safe, and by keeping it like, and one way it does this is it shows us the worst possible outcomes, so that we are prepared and like we can like experience the worst possible outcomes and beforehand. And that's why our brain always thinks of the worst situation, so we're like prepared for it. So that's why most of our thoughts are negatively charged. So that's why you should, when you get those thoughts, just know that they're not true. And it may sound very convincing, but trust it, none of those thoughts are true. Yeah, I get thoughts like that all the time. Like I get insecure about how I look, and like whether I'm like other people are judging me, or like all that. There's so many thoughts I get. But just know that none of them are true. They might be true because like sometimes those thoughts could be true, but you shouldn't let those thoughts affect you. And as long as you're like doing like, as long as you're being a good person and you're working hard, then like that, it doesn't matter. And you should just always like just try and improve yourself, and not like let anything like affect you like that, because it's not a good space to be in. Like in a space of negativity, it's not worth it. It's, your life is way too short to be like dwelling in like hopelessness. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And yeah, if you do all the things I said before, then it will definitely reduce the effect of the negative thoughts that will inevitably occur in your mind. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna end this video off. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, thank you guys for watching.